Hi, Calivan here. I thought I would try and give this guide an update as Beyond All Reason changes over time and my last upload for this scenario is now well out of date. The in-game tips for this scenario mention some large rocks you can reclaim to get an early metal boost. These don't exist anymore and haven't for a long time. My previous guide was centered around the fact that the closest AI player would always open with air. My tactic was to rush this opponent down early, reclaim all of the metal and use that big boost to force an early win. Unfortunately, this no longer holds true. Occasionally one of the bots will open with air, but it's pretty rare and it's not always the same one, so we can't really build a strategy around that. I'm just going to come out and say it, this scenario is really challenging. There's no simple trick to pulling out a win. If you're an above average bar player, you might not struggle too much, but then again, you probably won't be on YouTube looking for guides. For the rest of us average Joes, it takes practice, luck, and a solid plan. I can't help you with the first two, but I should be able to give you a hand with the third. I'll be showing you something that works on hard difficulty or below. I can't help you with brutal, that's above my current skill ceiling. To beat the AI, you need to understand the AI. The AI will expand very greedily, it's bad at committing to a head-on attack with T1 and T2 units, and it doesn't understand a coordinated air defense. It's good at doing everything all at once though, it's great at finding gaps in your defenses and it will frequently change the method and vector of its attacks. To beat it, we need to protect ourselves with the bare minimum of cost, punish its greedy expansion, buy ourselves some time to eco and then devastate its economy before it's had time to create a lot of T3. That will put us in a good position to finish the game. As for an opener, I've gone for 4 wind turbines, couple of mexes and a bot lab which has got 3 Lazarus and 3 construction bots queued up. My commander's then going to go and build a couple of sentries to stop the first little pushes. Now you'll probably get these as early as about now, they're a little bit slow on this one but they can arrive at about 2 minutes, so you need to do this before you do these 2 metal spots. We're going to just rely on wind turbines and reclaiming with Lazarus to get enough energy for the moment, and then we're going to use the geothermals to boost from that point. So my commander's got quite a long build queue queued up because I tend to do the same thing. So I open up with this first little bit here, which I can draw with this, and then we're going to build, like I said, our 2 turrets. We're going to get our mechs up. Then we're going to get 2 nettles because one of the enemies might go air and we won't know until about now. And if we don't have 2 nettles, we're going to be on the back foot from the very start. So going to get them up soon. Now we're going to get this metal extractor here. Then we're going to build 1 energy storage because we need to be able to store up a little bit. And then we're doing a lot of reclaiming, so that'll help. We're going to build a radar up the top here because that just keeps it a bit safer than over here. And it means that it probably won't get destroyed. And then we're going to go through. The commander's going to capture all these metal spots and then he's going to build a shipyard over here. In the meantime, once we've got our 3 Lazarus out, we're just going to give them a big load of queues so they just do their thing. We don't have to worry about them anymore. Then our construction bots are going to help each build the next one. Once we've got 2 out, one of them's going to come down. He's going to go and build these 5 mexes here. Then he's going to put a couple of nettles up too. This is because we might get air a bit later than we expect, we don't know, and if we've got a couple of nettles there it gives us a bit of protection. And then after that he's got it queued up, so he's going to build a load of pulsars along here because we might get small attacks quite near the start, not right at the start, but just having a small amount of defense there will buy us a bit of time. Now that we've got an extra bot out, he's going to come down and he's going to go on his own big build queue. So he's going to go down. He's going to build all these mexes that we haven't already got targeted. Then he's going to build the 2 geothermals. Then he's going to sit in the bottom because we'll need him later. Now the last bot is going to boost our building. So after the 3 Lazarus and the 3 construction bots, we're going to get 10 maces out. Then we're going to get 3 Centurions and 1 Lazarus. And that should keep us safe quite early on. We're going to move the maces right to the front line here and we're going to use the radar to keep an eye on what's going on. If we see any large blobs coming towards us, it will be big blobs of grunts or grunts or pawns or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our maces towards them to give ourselves a little bit of time so we can have a little bit of a retreating fight and deal with them. This is a very, very, very tenuous opener. It's just about okay enough to survive, but you have to pay attention and you have to be careful, because if they hit you with a big blob like this and you're in the wrong place, they can run past and then kill all your metal extractors, and there's no way you can really come back from that sort of fail that early. So we're just going to keep building, and we're still doing maces at the moment. And after we've got the first 4 or 5 out, we're going to move our construction bot down and get a construction turret up. This is going to help us build, but also it's going to help him build the geothermal plant here. So what I'm doing is if we put it on the player view for me, what we're going to do is we're going to keep, turn off that. We're going to keep an eye on our radar. And then when we see big blocks of units coming, we're going to push our maces towards them, and then we're going to retreat when they start fighting towards the laser towers. This will mean that we don't have to deal with a big clump all at once, and it should keep these alive. You've got to be quite careful with your maces. You don't really want to lose many early on, because you need them to survive for the first 7 or 8 minutes or something. So we're just going to move in when we see something and then move back and make sure it can't slip past. In the meantime, everything is going quite to plan. We're getting all the mexes picked up here. We've now got our geothermal plant building. We've got our construction turret helping with that. We'll probably run out of energy a little bit. It depends on how good the wind is to us. But because we've got an energy storage, that should give us just enough to make sure we can finish there. Although we're going to move the construction bot away, because we probably don't have enough for his build power and the turret without running out of energy. And he's going to come and get a single pulsar up here. It doesn't do much, but it's just going to be the difference between comfortable and uncomfortable. So you see we've got a big load of things about to push in here. We're going to probably grab our maces and just move it a little bit towards them, just to make sure we can block the path so they can't get past. And that will probably make them retreat, and if they commit to the attack, they'll all die. You want to try and make sure you don't run out of energy here, because you want your laser turrets to be working as much as possible. But just as we start to run out, think we'll probably find this thing finishes and we'll be fine. So the commander's building his shipyard now, and I'm going to instantly queue up 10 dolphins and a construction ship. I'm going to set the dolphins over to here, so it's going to build them, and the commander is going to be assisting that for extra build power. We're getting a little bit low on energy now. It's a bit of a problem, but just by the time this is a problem, we should finish. Just remember, set your construction turret to high priority to make sure that this gets finished rather than just ignored. Because the second this is done, our energy problems will be resolved. It sometimes dips a bit low as the Lazarus take time to run between the next trees, or the wind dips or something like that. Try and keep your maces safe, just move them in and out. Once we've got 10 maces out, we're going to use our Centurions. Now, we're going to put 2 of them over here in case there's a couple of amphibious units that pop up, because our commander can cover this bit, but we need a little bit of cover for there. And we're going to also put 1 of the Centurions just around here in case there's any amphibious units that comes down, and also in case there's a little bit of spillage from this front line, he can just pick up a couple of pawns that run past. So I'm going to turn off my player camera now. There we go. We've got everything again. So now we're in a sort of okay-ish position. We're going to get out 1 more Lazarus just to the front line, just to get ourselves a bit of metal reclaim and repair our maces up. And then we're going to make sure we're not building anything anywhere else, so the commander can rush out these dolphins and then get a construction ship out. Now, the whole point of the dolphins is we want to stop the enemy from expanding into the sea. And we want to hit them just as they've invested a lot of metal and build time, but before they've actually got any units. So this is the kind of thing you'll see. So they spent loads of metal and build power on getting a shipyard, a harpoon, some defences, a radar, some mexes and all these things, and a construction ship or 2, but no units yet. So this is exactly the right time when we want to hit things. Now, we won't be able to see the commander, but if you see the little blue laser hitting you, you'll have to move. And we're going to try and find where this is, which we do because we scout it. Essentially, just check all the metal spots and you'll find it. Make sure you kill the harpoons first so you don't die. And then that should kill this, and then that will be good. Now that those 10 are out, the next priority is we get our T2 lab up. So the second you've got these 10 built and they're doing their thing, get your T2 lab out. The construction turret can help. And this will mean we can start properly protecting our front line from the next big push, because it's going to start to heat up a lot now. We are going to build 3 fat boys, then we're going to build a compass, a smuggler, then we're going to build an advanced construction bot and 3 butlers, and that's all we're going to need. Now you'll notice that you've got these little people trying to run through the edge, so we've got to keep an eye on our maces and make sure we move them back. The beamer will help a lot out here because it'll actually do a lot of damage, and it's got a slightly longer range than all of the things they're attacking with. So just keep moving to the beamer, that'll get you some kills, and then make sure you don't get caught out by a load of pawns trying to run past you. Once your dolphins have killed their naval bay, if you've found it, move them out to scout a bit. You won't be able to kill their amphibious guys, and they will probably try and still build again, but we can't do anything about that right now. Our most important focus is we want to get 3 fat boys out because we want to protect everything. In the meantime, all our bots on their big queues are doing their stuff, so we should be on our second geothermals coming up now. We've got loads of mexes, which means we've got a decent amount of metal coming in. And once the fat boys start coming out, the front line's going to be pretty secure, because these fat boys, one on its own is okay. When you get 3 out, that's incredibly powerful. The AI will really struggle to push into 3 fat boys, especially when they're protected by the compass and the smuggler. Try and use your Lazarus to nip in and get a bit of reclaim when you can. It looks like quite a lot here. It does look a bit frightening, but as we've got 2 fat boys, these are going to get absolutely melted. Couple of shots on them will get them really low, and then the beamer or our surviving maces will finish them up. And once we've got the 3rd one out, we're going to be quite secure over here. So now we've got our 3rd fat boy finished, we've got metal to spare, so we're going to start building submarines in a minute, and we're going to use our commander to boot them out. Just the Tech 1 eels. We're going to put that on repeat and just keep building them for ages and ages and ages. Second, we've got one, we're going to start scouting out and finding out if they're in the sea again. We can see up the top here they are, but we don't know that yet. But we've got him on a patrol, so he's going to try and find what's going on and sort that out. Now the 3 fat boys have got this pretty locked down. We'll probably move them up to this bit of raised ground. We'll put our radar jammer and our radar on this bit of raised ground. That allows us to clear all this off, which is nice, and that will keep us safe for a while. We won't really need to build any of those. We're just going to use our metal just to pump out submarines. Now we're going to we've got our T2 construction bot, and we've got our 3 butlers. The butlers are going to assist the construction bot. We're going to get an anti-nuke up early because you never know. And then we're just going to start going around. We're going to upgrade all of these to Amexes. We're going to make this a prude in case it explodes. We don't want it to take out our build area. And then we're going to go through and we're going to upgrade everything. And we're going to make these geothermals advanced as well in a little bit. So we'll do a big queue up for that in a minute. And they haven't built a torpedo thing, so that's good. So the submarine's just going to keep shooting that and slowly kill it. Once I notice that, I'll probably send some more submarines over. But I'm just keep building these now. These are on repeat. The commander's just going to keep pumping. They're building more and more submarines. My construction ship's going to try and build some harpoons and some radars and just start claiming the metal slowly but surely. Not going to devote too much build power to that, just a little bit. So our main focus at the moment is we want to hold our front line. We want to keep this sea ours. We want to make sure there's not building any ships here. And then we want to expand. So we're going to just try and we're going to basically split up our income. We're going to be using a small amount to expand, which is we're going to be using a construction bot and the 3 butlers. That's going to go around and it's just going to literally upgrade everything slowly but surely, because we do want to eco a bit, but we also need to keep building submarines because they've got a lot more work for them to do yet. So we're getting quite a nice amount of eels, and now we are going to send them into the other part of the map because they might have built a shipyard here. At the moment they haven't, they've just started to build a lot of mexes, but we need to clear them off and we need to make sure they don't start building up here. If you ignore this, they will get some very big ships out very quickly and absolutely ruin your day. So we need to secure this. We also need to protect ourselves from amphibious units. Now, if they've not got any at the moment, which is quite rare. They often have small amounts to start with, which is why we've got all these beamers on the side here, and which is why we've got a couple of Centurions here and our commander staying there. So let's speed this up a little bit. It's going to put our submarines on some sort of big pattern, and they're just going to go through and just try and wipe everything off the sea here. Oh yeah, here's some amphibious units. This is a big problem because they can appear anywhere. We haven't really... This is a front line here, but to be honest, you've got to protect this whole section because they can appear anywhere. So the idea is we secure both of these parts of the sea, and that will allow us to be safe. I've got more submarines now, so I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to check all of these metal spots and make sure that there's no extra shipyards building. And at the same time, I'm going to get a load of sonars up so we can keep an eye on everything. Yeah, here's the amphibious units, but like I said, there's only a few to start off with, and we've got beamers up, so they'll protect us against that. Now we're about 17 minutes in. We're upgrading quite nicely and our metal and energy are fine. So we're going to start building some construction turrets down the bottom because we're going to need these when we want to eco a little bit. But first, we don't want to put too many resources in that. It's really important we secure both sides of the sea. So most of our metal here is going to be just going to continuous submarine production, as well as all the upgrading of the mexes and those kind of things. I am going to build a couple more fat boys because I've got quite a lot of metal, just to bring the numbers up to 5, just in case they push a bit hard. So on the North Sea, things are going quite well. The submarines are slowly but surely killing all their constructors and ships and things. We're very slowly but surely getting some defences up, making sure we protect our construction ship, because there's always some horrible little ships nipping around. And the AI will always manage to find your if you send a construction ship out anywhere on the map, and as long as it's got one little hovercraft or one little skimmer, it will find it. It always happens that way. It's so frustrating. But anyway, more fat boys are good. We're using fat boys just because they've got huge range and huge damage, and the AI loves spamming all loads of little units early on, and it just absolutely canes them before they can get anywhere near. We're bringing some more submarines in because we do take losses whenever we have to take some torpedoes down. And it doesn't look like they built any shipyards on this side. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but we have to presume they do. We have to hit them before they get secure enough to start building loads of their own submarines and destroyers and stuff like that. And then once we've got this kind of secure, we're going to start spreading out our submarines just to cover all of the places that amphibious units might embark or disembark. So we're going to cover this bit of coast here, we're going to cover the top there, we're going to cover this area here. We want to just kill loads and loads of their constructors and other odds and ends as they come out. We are 25 minutes into the game, or 22 minutes in the game coming up to, and we're still pumping out eels because that's what's going to win us this portion of the game. But we are doing pretty well on metal and energy, so we are getting all these construction turrets up ready to start ecoing. Okay, so we're about 23 minutes in now and we feel pretty safe. We've got lots of metal, lots of energy. We've got subs covering all the coast, so we know we're not going to get attacked by amphibious units, and we know they're not building loads of stuff in the sea. We have our sonar here to make sure. So now we're going to use the next few minutes to do some eco so we can take the fight properly to the enemy. Down here I'm going to build an APHIS, then I'm going to build some advanced metal converters, energy converters, and then we're going to build another APHIS. And we're just going to use this time in relative safety to expand. So let's speed up for a little bit and just see what happens over the next few minutes. We're going to build our construction turrets up here. We're going to get ourselves an advanced aircraft plant out because that's always really, really handy. Getting our second APHIS up now. It's really improving our metal and our energy production. These little guys still going through and upgrading everything slowly but surely. And we're going to start adding some planes to our mix. We're going to open up with some scouts first, just using oracles. Just because we want to see what the enemy's doing. We want to make sure they haven't got anything huge coming out, or looking to see if they've got any APHISes complete. Basically some juicy targets. The enemy has started using some platypuses, which we can't kill with submarines, so we've chucked out some maelstroms to protect against that. And because we've got loads and loads of metal, we are going to build a flagship. We're not going to devote a massive amount of build power into it, just 6 construction turrets, but we don't need any more submarines at this point, so we have stopped submarine production and we're going to get a flagship. To close out this game, the plan is to park a couple of flagships over here. That will pretty much kill all of this. Then what we're going to do, we're going to use planes to destroy any anti-nukes they build. One there, there's one here, there might be some more later. And then once they're there, we're going to just start chucking in nukes, build up a huge amount of forces, and then just go and finish the game. So we're half an hour in, and this is the point. If you get to this point within half an hour, you're probably looking good, because they haven't had a huge chance to expand yet. So that means they won't have loads of behemoths and titans and juggernauts ready to go. They're going to be sitting back ecoing with loads and loads of units, not really doing a great deal. They won't be able to attack you amphibiously because you've got submarines everywhere, so you'll be able to see them coming a long way off. And if you look, our metal and energy is actually quite close. I mean, they are ahead of me when they do loads of reclaiming, but that's the AI, that's fine. I can be a lot more efficient than them. And I've already got my nuke building. I've got an extra anti-nuke here just in case. They will build nukes and they will nuke you, especially when you forget to build anti-nukes. They'll definitely always have a nuke if you forget. Because I've got a couple of APHISes and some converters there, our economy is doing pretty well, so we're actually going to get a second flagship out. We will protect it probably with some odds and ends, but yeah, I think we're going to cancel that, and we're probably going to protect it with maybe some anti-air ships and get some fast submarines out for a bit of extra coverage. They're using a lot of these amphibious bombs at the moment, but we've got submarines everywhere, so they're not going to get to us. Now this flagship's out, things are going to start to go our way, so we're going to fast forward. Also, I didn't really show you, but remember to build a few gunships or something and just clear off these 2 side islands. There won't be much on there, but there is a couple of metal spots you can get rid of, so clear them out when you get a mow. So they're definitely having a go with amphibious units at the moment, but we're not really going to give them an opening. What we are going to do is we're going to move our flagship up here and just start mashing into things. If you don't really know what to shoot with it, it's great to aim for the geothermo spots first and then use those oracles to scout and try and hit anything that will go big bang explode. They are trying to poke at us with T3 units, and that one's managed to sneak by, but thankfully it moves away. But we do have our commander and a couple of Centurions there to buy us some time, and we are building some more planes. I've decided to build a load of bombers. I'm going to scout out with some oracles, then use the bombers to try and do a lot of damage. Let's just see what happens when they go in. Just going to target anything that looks kind of explodey, sending an oracle first. Now unfortunately there is quite a lot of anti-airs, but that's fine. We're just going to drop it all on their commander. And then we're going to try and finish off some energy converters. and then just find anything else we can. We're not going to save these bombers, we're just going to blow up something else. And the flagship will just slowly but surely just start tearing away at everything in range. One thing to note is you don't want to be surprised, so we are using our advanced aircraft plant just to build a weird mix of gunships, torpedo bombers, stealth fighters and scouts. Just put them on a big patrol path in front of your base, just in case. There is a Titan that I didn't realise they were building, but that's fine because Titans aren't that strong and we can use our gunships to burn it down. Somehow, God knows how, but somehow one of these has managed to sneak out and doing a load of damage. But we do have a few gunships up, which does give us a bit of response. We can see here that I've fired the first nuke. I think we're probably... What are we nuking here? Just a little bit of the front line. I don't know what was there. I just decided... oh yeah, it's because there's a Titan coming. I didn't want there to be a big push behind it, so I thought I'd nuke. This will kill a lot of your stuff, but we can replace it easily. And once that poison arrow's dead, which it is, we'll be able to kill the Titan by using our gunships and everything else we've got. So let's just skip over this bit because we can't... I say we can't lose now. As long as we scout properly and we cover all of the angles, we shouldn't be able to lose now. So what we're going to just do is speed this up. We're going to keep firing nukes. We're going to keep bombing things. We're going to keep shooting away with the flagship. Every time we see an anti-nuke, we're either going to shoot a nuke on the edge of the anti-nuke, or we're going to build some bombers, kill the anti-nuke, and then just keep nuking. We've got loads of metal coming in. Now we're not building any more flagships, so we can just push forward with a load of fat boys. And we can start cranking out some T3 units of our own. And now we've pushed them into a little corner. They do somehow have a behemoth done, but, you know, we'll be able to deal with that. We've got loads of stuff. And we're just going to keep nuking. Keep bombing, keep nuking. I accidentally built a load of construction ships, so now we're going to flood it with some little scouts just to get some vision. There is a behemoth coming to us, but we've got loads of stuff to kill here. We've got loads of snipers, we've got loads of gunships, we've got loads of Titans, so that won't be a huge problem. Now we know they've got nothing left, we can just move forward and wipe it all out. So, very difficult, but as long as you're proactive rather than reactive, you should be able to do it. The main thing is you need to stop them sneaking past you, and the best way to do that is to capture the seas. Put loads and loads of submarines everywhere to stop amphibious units, stop them building, limit the amount of metal they can get from all the metal extractors, and then you've got plenty of time to just slowly wear away at them with bombers, nukes, flagships, whatever you like. Well, hope that helps, and thanks for watching.